All right, dads. Every spring, the birch sap starts running. And I've always wondered, is harvesting birch water actually something worth doing with your kids? Or is it just one of those things that sounds cool, but doesn't really deliver? Because I don't know about you, but I'm not looking for another hobby. I'm looking for something that's actually worth the time. Durable dads, brothers from other mothers, and sisters from different misters, thanks for tuning in. So this video wasn't even planned. I was out filming a field test fire pit video with Jeremy from FIREWURX, and he set up a tap just to see if the birch were running. Then the next day I was out with Marshall, Canadian mountain man, and he was actually tapping for his own video. So I figured, all right, I've seen this twice now. Let's actually take a closer look at it. Now, I wasn't there to do this. I was riding shotgun. I just wanted to see, what does birch tapping actually look like? And is it something worth doing? Or just something that looks cool and never really sticks as some kind of family activity?
Canadian mountain men, and I just want to say, doing some collaboration here with Durable Dads, and it's a really good day to get out and see some birch sap collection. The idea about the Canadian Mountain Man channel, and it's open to anyone. I'm open to collaboration with anybody who wants to help out. Working here with Durable Dads, we have a lot of the same type of stuff that we want to cover and educate people on. That's what this is about. Continuation of a lifelong love that started at an early age. And I just want to be able to share that with people. So it'd be great if you would like and subscribe to our channels. Thank you.
Since inquiring minds want to know, I went out there to take another look at it. And honestly, you know what? It's pretty simple. You tap into the tree, you set up a bucket or, some kind of container, and then you just let it run. This isn't something you sit around doing. You set it up and you go do something else. So one of the activities that are pretty easy, if you find yourself in a spot that happens to be blessed with some birch trees, a good family-friendly activity is to go out and harvesting birch water. Birch water in the indigenous culture is well loved for its intrinsic health values. There's lots of vitamins and minerals in it. This is not something that you're going to go around tapping and collecting a bunch for, because it is a little bit of a process and it takes a couple of hours to be able to fill, hey, no extras, a jar about that big. But, and you're not going to be making a pile of maple syrup out of it either. It's really quite thin, but you don't need a whole lot. I was out yesterday with Jeremy from FIREWURX, and we did collect some, and he has a little bit of more of a bushcraft rig that you can set up. And I'm out here with Canadian mountain men today, and we've got a little bit more of a setup that's inexpensive, but something that can be sat in place, and you can go away and set up camp or go for a paddle or do whatever you're doing with the kids while this is harvesting. All right, kids, what we have is the tap. It's been installed. This birch tree is flowing really quite well. You can see it dripping. I'm going to give you a little cinematic action of that. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one's flowing quite nice. The next step would be to put something that looks suspiciously like aquarium tubing onto this, and a bucket, and we can start collecting. Okay, kids, here's the setup system. This one's got a pounded in spigot, and Canadian mountain men drilled this one in and is hanging this bucket. Okay, what's happening is that it is slowly dripping. This is moving, but it's a little bit of a time-consuming process, but I just wanted to show you a setup that you can easily duplicate yourself. This tap comes in and it has a standard air hose. Think science class, that you can put something like this, an air hose in. And if you wanted to hang it a little bit lower into a bucket that's a little lower, that's fine. In this setup, the handle's just hanging right there because it's not going to get heavy enough to, you know, pull the spigot out. Under a more industrial setup, if you were harvesting a bunch, then, you know, I'd go with something a little more sturdy, use some hose. But you know what? This is something, again, to set this up and it's rolling and it's doing its thing. Take off with the kids, start a fire, do what you're going to do. And then we'll come back and we'll check to see how Canadian Mountain Men's setup has yielded. I think it's important to reiterate that this is a time-consuming activity. It's a slow drip, and this is the second one. So we're harvesting, we're covering our butts, or at least Canadian Mountain Man is, by having two of these running simultaneously. Now, if you're going to be doing this, be prepared for no instant gratification. Again, go do something else, come back, check it every couple of hours, and have multiple ones going if you so choose. And then if you collect enough, everybody gets a little thing.
So when I got there, I was really just watching for a few things. Number one, the main one, is it actually fun? Is there something educational in it? That's two. And is it worth the time and the money? That's the big number three. Because at the end of the day, that's really what matters. It appears some lucky bastard had a fire here just recently. I'm not going to check to see if it's still radiating heat or anything like that. But all I'm saying, not today, Satan. Not today. We have birch trees, and that's mission critical. So as an added bonus, other people out here have been doing another activity that you can take and do with your kids, and that is gold panning. So if you see a little pit like this, I don't know, let's try to get this in. I'll get you some underwater footage even. But if you see a hole in here in a little inlet where there's water, that's your little bit of a pit for
Let's go and see if we can find some gold in there. I can tell you right now, I'll be reviewing this footage, and if there is gold, I'm not telling you where.
All right, let's answer the other big question. Cost. All right, this isn't a big investment either way. You can keep it really simple, like Jeremy's, with a piece of hose and a jar with a lid and the hose running through it, or you can grab a small kit like Marshall was using. A basic setup, if you want to buy it, will run you about $40 or so. But either way, you're not going all in just to try it. That matters. Another thing that came up while I was riding shotgun with Marshall was finding a panning pit, gold panning, in the creek. Now, the same principle applies to gold panning too. It looks awesome, but is it actually worth it? Or are you going to end up with gear that's just sitting in the garage gathering dust? That's something we're going to figure out this spring too.
Hi kids. So just as a little bit of a back behind the scenes action, I'm going to go over quickly what comes with me. I cover this in the adventure kit, but this is my basic ensemble. I'm packing light, so this was a little bit of a last minute collab. So one of the main pieces I like to use to give a steady shot is a small rig. Okay. A small rig. A rig cage, as they call them. These are super handy if you're going to want to get into it. So the nice thing about it is your phone kind of sits in here. There's a couple of slots if you want to have a microphone, which I've actually got. So if I want to get some stellar audio, it's the thing that keeps on giving, and it wants my glasses. So Rode mic, so that's going to give me a little bit more space, and that just slides on just like so. Actually, more like so. Ta-da! And there you go. You can also put a light on right there too. Your phone fits in there, and you just use this to clamp it down and make sure your phone's not going anywhere. There's mounts on either side. This mount is obviously for the tripod, so this can act as just an all-in-one, or it's got handles for the side if you wanted to use it. Portrait mode, like some people like to do, if you're doing shorts. I don't generally tend to use that format very often. This, well worth having. This is my smaller tripod. It only goes up to 5 feet. I do have one that'll do overhead. You've seen that. Little mount for my phone. This goes with me everywhere. It doesn't get the case love today, but yeah, it's free balling all the time in lieu. The camera bag, we've gone over that. There's a mic for the action cam, the Action 3, waterproof. So it's mounted. It sits on this, a chest mount, most of the time. So when you're seeing my my point of view action, I'm using this plus a static cam. Another nice feature is I've got this. This is called a Stuntman, is the model, and that's designed to strap onto your backpack. Strap onto essentially right here, like so. And there you go. So as you're walking along, you're taking footage. You've seen that in some of my hike videos in the past. So again, an essential. So between this, the action cam, my phone is currently taking the video, and we've got a mic, and in here is a drone. Got to get more footage of that, and the rest of the little gear that comes with. So we've got some lav mics here as well, and a selfie stick, and a little one for the dash. So if I want to talk to you and I'm sitting in the Forerunner, there it is. The Forerunner's not with us. One of the Forerunners is today. Otherwise, I'd show you the dash mount. So that is an Outdoor Dad's filming kit in the raw.
Now, we didn't even get into processing or drinking birch water that day, although you can absolutely right out of the tree. But even just seeing it in action gives a fella a pretty good idea of what's involved. And honestly, that's enough to make a call. And here's the call. This isn't something I'd build a whole day around. But as part of a day out, especially in the spring, set it up, go do something else, come back. Yeah, this actually works. It's simple, it's seasonal, and it's one of those things you can try out without going all in cost-wise. Honestly, I should probably get myself set up for this.
All right. So when you're finished draining the lifeblood from this poor unhibernating tree for your own drinking pleasure, what you'll see behind me is right here is a plug. And this will help, keep it obviously from not bleeding out. It's sap because it's just started flowing again from its winter bank down in the roots, and we don't want it all over the ground. So help a brother out, plug it back up when you're done, and be sure to kind of let kids, it's just like putting a Band-Aid back on. Nature loves to share. but just be responsible. All right, I'll stop being preachy. Anyways, shut your tap hole.
Righto. If this video gave you some ideas, or at least got you thinking about what's actually worth doing out there with your kids, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. We're going to be checking out more of these kind of activities, seeing what's actually worth it and what's not. So here's me keeping the coffee hot and the activities not lame. Peace out, Scout.